Okay. Alright, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning. And also from Commission of Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. Again, we'd like to welcome all of you to our Community Service Center, first edition of Subang. So I think everybody very well versed with how of the state territory of Malaysia. So we are in Selangor, basically state of Selangor, one of the 40 states in Malaysia, and we are one of the 22 division of in Selangor. So one of it is so other than that you might be hearing about Ampang, Balam, Klang. So we are at the heart of Subang. So Subang is actually a new territory which has been realigned according to the Parliament sitting. So I'll be brief, go through some slides, actually about to share some of the gist what we have been doing on daily activities. However, instead of bore you with all the presentation and wording, I would rather spend more time actually to go with Q&A. If you have any questions or inquiry that you would like to further probe about the information, rather than a briefing that might not suit or meet your goal and objective. Okay, but in general, we are actually Pascal Subang, as mentioned by our YDP, our head of division, and we have set up this community center actually to serve the public. So all our branches, we have 32 branches throughout the division, actually centered here and gathered here. So we have various activities. Last night is the fresh one. We hold one, we call it Sharamah, talk on the current issues, especially when the parliament sitting. So we have the luxury of all the parliament members nationwide gathered in parliament. So at the weekend or the night, we kidnap them and get make good of their available time actually to give and brief the public. And also it is not a norm to have a big ceramah anymore if you're aware about the changes of the trend. So it is more on social media. So even though participant in front of you is 10, but it could reach to 10,000 people outside. So social media actually play a vital role in terms of disseminating the information that we have required. Okay. On what is the purpose of us, I believe everybody has been made aware. We are a bit different compared to the other political parties in terms of actually gathering only a power to rule and govern the country. We also have an ultimate goal, actually to seek the we call it the blessing of God, kerajaan Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. And also, but not to say that we are not prioritizing. We also would like to be a defender of our constitution. So that is our two core pillars that we actually in our struggle and our movement. Okay, so in the constituencies of Subang, actually we are plotted according to the parliament sitting. So when we call it a division of Subang, it's actually a division of parliament. So we have 222 parliament in Malaysia. We are one of the 222. So inside the one parliament, we have two state assembly constituency. So we have one N21, 31 is Subang Jaya, and 30 is Kenara. So combination of two state constituency become one parliament. So in one parliament, it could be consist of 4 or 3 or 2 state constituency. So parliament in the national, federal, and then state is at the state assembly level. So apparently all are not within grasp of PAS NPM. So Subang Jaya is under PKR, Kenara is under DAP, and the Parliament of Subang is under PKR. So this is the norms in we call it Malay majority constituency. So that's why it's a bit odd when we have a presence, actually a strong presence of PAS in non-Malay majority dominated. So I will walk through what is some of our activities and a bit achievement of what we have done in relative to the most majority constituency like Tanjung Karang, Gombak, the Malay belt at the north of Selangor. So this is something that we would like to share and maybe pride of somewhat at the very odd place of mixed actually multi-racial constituency, be able actually to do some movement and gain support in area that we are focusing on. Okay, before 2018, there is no PAS Subang. Actually, it's called PAS Kelana Jaya because of the persempanan semula of the constituency. It is combined, the Kinara, Dun Kinara and Dun Subang Jaya combined to become PAS Subang. So PAS Subang is actually a very new parliament constituency because of the changes of the constituency. And again, our vision is actually to disseminate information so that people more understand about PAS and actually about Islam that we are bringing in. And how we are functioning, actually we are doing various activities throughout all the divisions. I believe that we have introduced some of our committee members, and also we have we call it most important part is actually our wings, which is our youth, our women, the Muslimah, and also the youngsters, the Muslimat muda and pemuda, pelapis pemuda, all that. So all this is actually gentle machinery actually to support all the objectives. So Mr. Ruslan informed that we have 22 branches with 1,045 members. So basically, PAS has been known as the second largest member, party member in Malaysia, on top, second after UMNO. So we believe that with the grassroots, with strong grassroots, we are able actually to gear up the movement. Actually, not only for political, again, not only for political, but also the benefit of the society in our objective. Okay, so again, I repeat myself, on top of our political aim and objective actually to govern the country, the constituency, we also stress on two other pillars, which is our internal development of the members and also the preaching and disseminating information to the outsiders. So these two things, two areas is actually internal strength for us actually to build up our members via various activities like Usrah, like our Ceramah internal, our Tamrin, our Kursus and courses. So all those actually to build up the internal members, actually to function as an ambassador for the party to the society and to the masyarakat. And of course, last but not least is our siasah. This is the political that we actually join all the elections held since the started of the democracy, and we are here to stay in terms of that. Okay, the unique part of PAS Subang, I'm not sure whether we have been to other division or not of PAS, but PAS Subang, we internally have our own retreat and our own discussion on how and what to focus. Since we are not in the constituency that we are putting our own candidate, PAS is not putting candidate in the constituency which is not Malay majority. So in terms of 55% below, I think it's something that we are being calculative in terms of putting our candidates. So where we focus on if we are not in the position of actually putting ourselves in election. So we do support our component. There's a component that we support, but ourselves, our party, what do we do if we are not contesting in the election? So we are building up our Greater PAS Subang with all these 5 pillars. So these internal core values that actually build up all the branches. They must know about these values that we bring in and what's the result and achievement that we would like to target and set as a goal. So this is unique for PAS Subang. So if you go to PAS Shah Alam, you won't see this kind. So this is only for our internal division. Okay, basically what we do here actually in our community service center, mainly we are targeting on welfare. So by doing goods, perhaps it's not only obligation that actually being guided by Quran and Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, but also actually to do goods for the community and our neighbors. So this is the most important part, especially during the MCO. So we are the party which is very famous with all the generosity. So our leaders have been said that the party money is actually in the pocket of the member. That's the term. So basically, because we believe that as a member, we believe that the one that we give actually is investment for our day after. So this is the spirit that we always carry. And even though we are not a government in the state of Selangor, and this is not our constituency, how are we going to fund our machinery actually to do all this work? Like we are actually working as a government. So this is something that we need to work around to get fund and also to do activities. So to have our office, we have costs, we have activities, we have costs. So all these need to be funded and also need to be prioritized what we can do. Unlike the governments, unlike the winning constituencies, they have been provided with the grant from the state and also from the government. So we don't have the luxury. And this is what some of the big debates in parliament, where the government actually suppressed the opposition by not giving any state or fund allocation for any parliamentary from the opposition bloc. So this is something which is odd, but we are not going to put that as a stop for us actually to move and do our activities. So the first one and our priority is actually the welfare assistance, and then second is actually the interracial or multiracial relationship with all our neighbours. We are 33% or less than 50% Malay dominant majority. So this is something that we are prioritizing on. Third is actually the development of our member, to recruitment of our member. So we are proud to say among of the 22 division in Selangor, we are one of the highest recruitment members in terms of relative number of members. So of course, you can recruit 1,000 per year, but your base members maybe 20,000, so relatively it's actually small. Compared to what we have, about 800, we can recruit 200 per year. So this is something that the result of the retreat, result of all the discussion we have, so the members actually is one of the focus. And the rest is actually the others, the missionary training. Okay, this is our target, which is actually the P40, the OKU for the welfare, and we are continuously and consistently. So how we get all this information? We have all the branches, and all the branches are working and moving towards gathering we call it the heartbeats of this society. So when there is an OKU, when there is an accident, when there is an event that needs attention, the division will pop up and highlight to the central division, and we'll take action on it based on this one. I believe last weekend we have visited about 5 houses, 4 to 5 houses of our members and our constituency, actually giving them attention basically. We are not a missionary to give fine, so we are giving attention and look what do they need. So do they need link up with the Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, and we have to assist on that. So that's what we have been doing. So this is the highlight, and also we have our own Scheme Pass. Scheme Pass is a very unique product only for us that we actually contribute annually. And it is like an insurance, but actually it's within the internal organization only. So we are allowed only for members. We do not promote to the non-members because it's against the Bank Negara law. So internally, we have our own Scheme Pass, which is the benefit of the welfare. So when they subscribe and there is event of death, permanent disability, then we can provide some of the funds on that. So this is almost about the takaful helping each other within the organization member. So this is the exciting part where we do a lot of interaction, not only to our members, to only Muslim community, but also to the NGOs, the bodies, the religions, authorities beyond Islam and Muslim community. So in this area, it is very exciting because we have a lot of our friends outside, which have been actually our long friend, even before Pasukan is there. So we have a lot of ability in terms of Deepavali, Chinese New Year, and all other events. In fact, that when you go to the kindergarten just later on, we'll see a lot of neighbors also is not non-Malay. So when there's a festival, so the kids bringing up hamper and Mandarin and go to visit the neighbors. So to that extent, we're actually extending our warm hands in terms of building bridge within the multiracial society. Okay, this is one of the event, the video. Recently, the Chinese New Year, we went to the morning market, actually giving some gift to the society, to the Chinese community over there. This is by our women's wing, women's division. Yes, the third one is actually the members. So in this, there's a two way of looking into party. One, like DAP, they don't have a lot of members, but they rally on issues and sentiment and gather all the support based on common. But like UMNO and PAS actually is based on a membership from grassroots. That's why we have the most numbers of members political party in Malaysia. So this is one of our priorities, and we have successfully for the past 2 years setting up 3 new branches. So people actually are having challenging time actually to maintain their membership and division and branches. But oppositely, we are in the trend of increasing and growing numbers of that. So yes, maybe there's a wave coming from UMNO member joining PAS, I don't know, and also some of the youth actually coming, joining the stream of political agenda in national level. Okay, so this is our third. Okay, so again also our fourth, the division development. So we have the youth, the women's, which is called Muslimat, Pemuda is youth, Ulama is our council of scholars. So this is our guidance and our advisors lah, in terms of doing all the do and don'ts, what we can put ahead or where we can have to be very careful on that. So it's been advised by our council of scholars internally within Subang, and we have the reference throughout until the national level. And the new wing that actually been setting up, actually the Asabikun. I believe that like the country, Malaysia is going towards the aging society, aging nation society. So part of our member, which actually the past, not the past age of leadership, but the previous member, the previous leaders actually still want to contribute a lot. Like what Kasiran, he's being at the national level, his face is well known throughout Malaysia. So he's being there more than the youth. He's being at all the activities more than the youth. That's the comment on that. So PAS has recognized that and set up a division, wings for this Asabikun. So when we call wings, it's not just a bureau. Wings have a structure and able to send a representative to elect the central committee member in all division. All level, means at the central level, at the state level, and division level. So they become the wings, like the youth and also the women. So like in UMNO, they have the putri. So we have this Sabikun as the elders. So in terms of wings, actually it's quite a powerful position rather than just a sub-committee as previously. Okay, that's the fourth. This is the 24 committee member of PAS division. So this consists of technocrat, professionals as well as the scholars. So we are well mixed, and I think it's also well mixed in terms of average numbers of each. So there's the elders and also there's a young. They need guidance of the elders all the way to support the activities. So unlike your, I think your commission, the average age numbers is very young. So there's a black hair here, there's a white hair over there. There's a bit different on that. So we are mixed. We have a luxury of having a mixed community member, which complement each other in a way. Okay, this is a snapshot of the events or activities that we have done. It consists of both internal and external activities. So this is the internal, our course, our retreat and brainstorming is our internal gathering or usra, and also we do a lot of sports and also communities activities in terms of welfare and also in terms of ceramah. So this is very recent, last night, our program here in our office. Okay, the most important part is actually we want to stress on the education. So actually PAS has started leadership long time ago. We have 40 years plus experience in terms of building up the education. So from the lowest level, which is the preschool, 4 years old, 4 to 6 years old, kindergarten, preschool, up to now we have primary school
Now we have secondary school, we also have university throughout the line. So we are building up at all levels so that our students in kindergarten will go through all the level within our organization. So this is registered and comply with the mainstream, with the National Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. So they can take all the national exams, all the required to go. For example, our primary school, after preschool, primary school, they can go to boarding school after they pass their 6 years primary school. So to that extent, we have blend in, and I think it become more popular. We are actually having a difficulties in terms of coping the demand. So every year there is additional numbers of branches because the demand is the thing is we are delivering the best quality at a very affordable fees. This is the key that why people attract to us. So because we are non-profit oriented, we are not business, we don't have a dividend to commit to the shareholders, all due to the party and again to the mission of the organization. So in Subang we have, I give a wrong information just now, we have 18 kindergarten with the 96 number of teachers and 1,224 numbers of students registered for the new session. We just begin our new session in 16 February. So it's a new session. I think government is actually adjusting the education calendar. So this year will be 11 months instead of 12 months. So we'll be ending 2025. Our new session 2026 will be starting from January. So we'll be back to normal, January to December starting 2026. So we just launched one primary school, which we also we're going to visit this, and we have numbers of students 110. So this is very high for a new school. So because we start with standard 1, we don't open standard 2. Next year we start with standard 2, standard 1, standard 3, standard 2, standard 1. So it's fairly new. This year only we receive 50 number of students for standard 1, which we open usually one class. But because of the demand, we have to scramble our resources to open the new building and for the new class. So again, I said this is something that actually our we call it contribution to the society, and we believe that it will be stay and growing in future. Yeah, this is the missionary for election lah. This I won't bore you too much on this. Everybody know about this ceramah, the bengkel for missionary. Even though we are not the constituency that has been focused on for putting our candidate, but we've been training our missionary like we are contesting. Why? The reason is we are going to distribute our missionary to all the other constituency to help them. So we have been sending them to our neighbors like our Taman Medan, the nearby constituency for the state assembly election, or perhaps we have been sent to Pahang for another election happen. So when there's a small election like PRK, not the Pilihan Raya Umum, so this is the function that we have been training our missionary. Snapshot of all the other event and activities we have enrolled last year. Yes, there's social media. So please do follow us if you want more updates on our channel. We have TikTok, we have FB, we have YouTube for Lajnah Penerangan. So this is our focus now. We have been developing our tools actually to do live streaming. We are going to do a good studio to do podcast and so on. I believe we have jewelry here at the national level. Mr. Roslan actually has been very popular in Malaysia. We'll be seeing him if you subscribe to Harakah. He's the permanent columnist for Harakah. So he's been writing and so being invited with a lot of ceramah. So with this we have jewelry in our division actually. Even though it is relatively small in terms of capacity, but actually with Haji Roslan, Haji Rahman actually the national level of NGO chairman. So all these national level leaders, we take them wisdom, their wisdom, and we move forward in terms of putting their words into phrases, into quotes, into context, so that we can disseminate the information, not only to Subang but also throughout the country. Okay, I think that's all sharing from us. Alright, I believe if there is any question and answer or dialogue we might want to to happen. We can start now. Before, I think we have some refreshment after this. Later on, we'll bring you to the one of the 18 kindergarten and also the only one primary school. So require a bit of travel. Okay.
So I actually have two questions. So if I can go back a few slides back, I think it's one of the earlier ones. It's about how Ahmad halalkan cara. So I was just wondering if you could explain that to me, because it's something that I always read about, but I don't quite understand. Ni, mau mukmin defender. Ahmad tidak menghalalkan cara, which means the objective does not halal. I don't quite understand.
So please correct me and add on, committee member. Maybe perhaps Haji Rahman. I will add on after you.
After me.
But thank you so much. I think that was a very good briefing.
Your speed, the way language,
Boleh.
Sana negeri terlepas sebab Mumin defender, matlamat tidak mau menghalalkan cara. That's the usually the end
Does not justify the means.
the end does not justify the means. Meaning, when there is a noble objective that you want to do, the method of doing it must also be noble. It cannot be, it's a noble objective and then you use means that are devious or cheating and all that to achieve that objective. I think is it okay with that? Are you okay with that? Anything else that you want to
No, it's because I noticed that during one of the, I think, sermons given by Tuan Guru, he mentioned the same thing. So when I saw it again, I was like, oh.
I think it's a phrase that is quite commonly used, and it is a reminder actually to our members that you want to achieve a noble, right, good objective. The way must be right. You cannot use devious means, cheating and all that. And I think
The other thing I want to ask is more on the pasti Smriti, and I think now there's also a new Smriti coming up, right? Subang, if I remember.
Subang not yet.
Subang belum lagi.
Secondary level.
Jadi Smriti belum hasn't come up yet.
In Subang, but in other constituency have.
Okay. So how do, like, in terms of students, right, when they study at Pasti, then they go Smriti. So in this case, there's no Smriti here, right? Then if they want to go to another Smriti somewhere nearby, is there like a direct track for them to get enrolled into those schools, or like how does that work? Thank you.
Okay, so it is actually a private school. So it is not an exclusive. If you want to enroll to Smriti, you need to go to Pasti. No. Other than Pasti student can still enroll Smriti. Other than Smriti student can still enroll Smriti. So it's actually a private, it's an open enrollment. It is not a track that you must compulsory to go Pasti before Smriti. You must go Smriti before Smriti, and you have to go Smriti before the institution. So there is not a requirement of that. So it is based on capacity, because if you just can imagine, we have 18 kindergarten, but we only managed to do one primary unit. So it is actually a numbers game. So if you have a lot of members or a lot of enrollment of students in preschool, maybe you can have opportunity to have enrollment in primary school. So same goes to Smriti. Smriti is actually the secondary. After primary is secondary. So we have not yet to explore the Smriti, but we are actually eager in exploring that. But we want to settle down on the Smriti first. So Smriti is only 2 to 3 years age. So once we mature on this, and then we definitely will go to this one. So it's not a closed enrollment. It is a normal private school. So when you finish to Smriti here, you can actually go to any of the secondary school. So whether government school or any other private school. So to add on to Haji Rahman, actually it's like Menurut cara is actually like Robin Hood. So you cannot be stealing from other people to do good deeds to other people by doing welfare. So same goes to our previous case. Also we take money into our from projects and then we put into organization in the past, and then we do kebajikan for this one. This is not something that we believe on, and this is being reminded through our Prophet Muhammad, through our leaders, and also to all the division activities. So perhaps that answer your queries.
I think that's a
Thank you
very much for the presentation and making the time to be here. My question had to do with what you were saying earlier about how Subang is a non-Malay Muslim majority. So for PAS, what are some of the challenges operating in a non-Malay Muslim community? And what challenges do you face in working in helping your coalition partner when it comes to elections and things like that?
Yes.
Interesting question. Once we are in Subang, Muslim 30%, and then another 70% are Chinese and Indians. We are number one, us being an Islamic party, we actually like to bridge diversity. And you know that Islam is for all. Okay? Islam is for all. And as we have explained this now, although we are a political party, our objectives is not just to win election and gain power. Number one, we want to share Islam. We want to share Islam with the non-Muslims. We want to provide service, and also we want to give training, develop our members. I think your question is about how do we engage with non-Muslims. I will tell you that it's difficult. It has been difficult.